If you've seen some of my other videos, you can tell that I love doing reviews of lighting upgrades. The reason why is that most cars can use the upgrade, and they're usually a pretty simple installation for just about anybody. I think the best part is there's so many options to personalize your lighting to suit your needs now, both from an illumination and a styling standpoint. Well, the Boslla 4-color LED headlight is a neat one, and I got my hands on a pair and came up with a crazy idea on how to use it. I know the title gave it away, but follow along anyway. Hey, welcome to my garage. I'm Jason. This is my personal garage where I like to make product review videos and how-to videos and whatnot. Check out my other videos for everything that I like to do, and of course, subscribe, like, share. You know what to do on that. I've been checking out the Boslla LED headlight for a while, and when they recently reached out to me and asked me to review them, I accepted, but I just wasn't sure where I'd install it. I mean, they've got a size for just about any headlight, but I've already got LED upgraded headlights in my daily driver Jeep Grand Cherokee, and also my wife's daily driver vehicle. See my other videos for those reviews. And my Corvette here behind me has HIDs, and so far there just is not a good LED upgrade for those. And then I got to thinking, just for fun, maybe I could make these headlights fit in my Corvette's fog light housing. I did some research, and yes, I can. First, let's check out the product details. So here's the box that it comes in. Some of you might not care much about product presentation, and that's cool, but I like it when they put some care and thought into it. Now, as mentioned, this is the world's first multicolor LED headlight that works in clear, rainy, foggy, and snowy conditions. It started out as a Kickstarter campaign, and they had over 1,500 backers. Let's open the box. First thing you see is a card that tells you how to get in touch if there's an issue, or how to spread the word if there's not. And an instruction manual that has a lot of information. It's good to have on hand. These are pretty simple plug and play, so you may not need that. And here it is. Let's go over the anatomy of what makes this very, very unique. Now visually they call it the Bullet because of this bullet design right there. On the left it shows silver to symbolize the white light capability, and then on the right it shows gold to symbolize the yellow light capability. None of this makes any difference on the light output, but once again it shows that a lot of thought went into this. Now the LED, here are the dual color chips, which is what makes it the world's first 4-color LED light. I'm going to demonstrate that in a bit, but first, remember how I mentioned in my previous videos that it's critical that the LED lights have a similar chip positioning as the OEM bulb? Well, this super thin 0.9 millimeter center keeps the LED chips as close as possible to the same position as OEM. And speaking of heat dissipation, I also mentioned in my previous videos, heat is the killer of LED lights. It reduces the light output and reduces the reliability. Well, that center has a copper core that also helps with heat dissipation, along with the base, which is a heat sink made out of 6063 aluminum. Pulling heat out of the base is an 8,500 RPM fan, and it has a separate driver which is also good for heat dissipation. The harnesses are braided and also seem to be very tough and pretty high quality. Now the entire unit has been extensively tested to be IP67 rated. That means it has complete protection against dirt, mud, dust, and water immersion. They've also done the fun test of freezing it in a block of ice and breaking it out and all that, but they've also baked it at almost 200 degrees, so it seems pretty tough. As you can see, it has a plug-and-play design, so it's almost as easy as replacing it for another regular bulb. And it does have a rotatable collar if you need to clock it in a certain position based on your headlight housing design. So overall, it's well designed, made of quality materials, and pretty durable. But let's get back to the color changing ability that makes it so cool and unique. One thing that I also want to mention before I continue is it has a very positive connecting mechanism between the light and the driver. There's a little pin right there, and there's a little slot that it goes into right there, so you can't hook it up wrong. And then it has a screw down collar to make sure that it doesn't accidentally disconnect. To cycle through the 4 color modes is pretty easy. You just turn your car's lights off and then back on within 5 seconds. Kind of neat because there's no additional steps or anything else to install. You hook this up just like a normal LED light. Now I've got my power supply here to use as a demonstration of how this works. Before I do, I'm going to throw my dark safety glasses on because I learned the hard way by reviewing LED bulbs that if I'm not careful and I look right at them when I turn it on, well, I can't see very much for a while after that. The main color is 6500 Kelvin white for driving in normal, clear conditions. And the second color function is a neutral white, of 4300 Kelvin for snowy types of conditions. The third is 3000 Kelvin yellow color with penetrating ability for driving in rain and fog. And then the fourth is a warning flashing color of the 3000 Kelvin yellow for emergency situations. And then it will automatically reset to white light after being off for 5 seconds. You could really hear that fan spin too. I think this is very cool, and it's neat that there's nothing else like it out there on the market right now. I mentioned that they make this LED headlight for just about any vehicle as a headlight replacement, but I also mentioned that I'm going to see how well these neat headlights work in my C6 Corvette's fog light housings. Now, if you're not interested in the Corvette portion of this and just want a set of these to use as your headlights, then just go to the link in the description and enjoy the 4-color feature of this cool LED headlight upgrade. All right, did we lose all the non-Corvette people? Yeah? Okay, let's go. The C6 Corvette fog light uses the 9145 as a fog light bulb, and that's equivalent to an HB3 headlight bulb, which this is. So you can indeed fit the Boslla LED light in a C6 Corvette fog light housing. Now, I'm going to show one more time how important it is that the LED chip match the placement of the OEM filament, which they do almost perfectly in this case. And I do have this spare C6 Corvette fog light housing to show how that's going to work. On the C6 Corvette, there are these T15 Torx retention screws that can be removed, but your application might be quite different. One thing that's important, don't push on the back of this fan when you're installing it. Use your fingers on the edges here, otherwise you may risk breaking the fan. But there it is, installed. Nice and easy. Now, at this point you might be saying, wait a minute, you're installing a headlight in a C6 Corvette Z06 fog light position. Yep. And you expect to be driving that car in snowy conditions? Nope. And you expect to be driving that car in rain and fog? I try to avoid it, but it could definitely happen. And you expect to have a use for that flashing SOS feature? I sure hope not, but it's nice to know that it's there for if I ever do need it. So why are you installing it that way? Quite simply, because I think it's cool and fun. I mean, the way that I see it, if you can't have fun with your car, then it's just a combination of metal and plastic and fluids. A car should be more than the sum of its parts, right? That's what makes cars great. And I don't have to keep it this way. That's the beauty. It's easy to swap in and out as needed. So if you want to keep having fun with this idea, let's continue ahead. If not, like I said, you can get yours to use as a regular headlight by hitting the link in the description below. But now, I'm going to install these on my car and see what they look like. Now, just in case you don't know, how you change the fog lights in a C6 Corvette is you take off these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bolts. There's also a fastener or 2 in there that you can remove, and that'll allow you to peel this splash guard back so you can reach in and change the bulb. And I think you should be able to see it from here. That's what it looks like mounted, and you might be able to tell that I mounted the driver box with some double-sided tape on top of the fog light housing so it's out of the way and not hanging. I tested it, works great. Now you're probably wondering why I didn't pull the car out of the garage. Well, unfortunately, I've got a common fuel sending unit leak in the car. Look it up, it's pretty common for C6 Corvettes. And I can't get replacement parts because of the GM strike that happens to be going on right now. So, can't drive the car much. Otherwise you risk, I don't know, a fire. Anyway, this is a really neat and unique LED headlight replacement. And I've shown you can use it for more than just a headlight, although I don't know that Boslla would outwardly recommend it, I think it works. The more I think about it, the more I'm surprised that vehicle manufacturers haven't adopted this sort of technology. Maybe this is your chance to get ahead of the concept. Now, your mileage may vary, but this isn't uncommon for someone to find ways to use car parts in ways that weren't originally thought of. And I'm certainly not the first person to put a headlight bulb in a fog light housing. There's always trade-offs, and quite honestly, I just wanted to see what it would look like, and I think it looks pretty cool. And also, like I said, it's fun. Am I crazy for doing this? Probably a little bit, but feel free to leave your comments anyway. I try to respond to every single one of them, unless they're stupid, and then I just ignore them. Now, I can't say I'm going to run these in this configuration permanently, but I bought a few more sets to swap in and out of my daily drivers depending on the season. I guess that's just the fun mad scientist in me. I don't know. But if you do want to learn more, like I said, hit the link in the description or just go to Boslla.com and find the right size of the 4-color headlight for your application and see better in all driving conditions. They also have other things too, like non-color changing LED headlights and T10, or also known as 194 bulbs. By the way, stay tuned to see some really cool C6 Corvette specific fog light replacements. I just got my hands on these Lightworks fog lights, and I'll cover them in an upcoming video. So don't forget to subscribe, have your pet spayed or neutered, don't cheat on your taxes because it's un-American, and don't drive your car without armor shield on it. I don't know. Anyway, you know what to do, so do it if you haven't already. This was fun. I hope you found it fun as well. As always, thanks for hanging out in my garage with me. I'll see you in my next video.